So this is a video response to the "Is This Hell" video. I hear everything you're saying there, and there is a aspect to our earthly existence that has us experience torment and suffering. The thing of it is to declare that this particular existence, the one you and I are currently sharing, if I understand what's going on correctly, I mean, you and I are existing on the same temporal plane right now. To declare that the suffering that goes on in this temporal plane, as well as the torment, as being hell, diminishes the concept of hell. We can use it as a tool, but to truly understand it is to realize that whatever torment or suffering we feel upon this particular plane of existence, to declare that it is hell takes away from the definition of the ultimate torment, the ultimate suffering that there is no relief from. You know, and I hesitate to say it that way, especially because I wouldn't want to downplay what people feel. You know, how much life can hurt, how much discouragement occurs when you feel lost, when you don't feel like you have your way. There was mention in your video about, so when Jesus came down, then in fact he came down to hell. There are faiths in their doctrine that believe that so when Jesus came down to the temporal earth, after he was put to death by Pontius Pilate, he went down to hell for 3 days and saved everyone's soul. Like, you know, what did he do while he was down there in the literal hell? So the text writes of a different plane besides the one in direct of our existence. There's other parts of it that when historians and pundits humanize the existence of Jesus, it partly takes away from his deity, but I think that's a different subject, and I cautiously step, because again, there's so very real suffering and very real hurt on this earth, and so much of that suffering and so much of that hurt, we can backtrace it to being the consequences of a sin, you know, of a violation of either one, natural law, or two, God's moral law. Whether it's even the suffering of what we think of as the innocent, you know, we can trace it back to somewhere along the way, mankind's free will got involved and made it bad. There's aspects of hell to this plane of existence, as there is aspects of heaven. But I would say that, to summarize the whole thing, no sooner is it fair to say that this is hell than it would be to say that this is heaven. I would say that if you and I sat down and talked about it, and we made a unweighted balancing scale of the good that we can create or have experienced in our lives, and weigh it against, you know, the scale of justice to the bad, so long as the bad isn't weighted, I would safely wager that in our time, better than 90% has been good, with 10% being bad. course, the 10% that's bad, there's something in our genetics that forces us to weigh and avoid the bad just to continue our existence. But there's a danger in focusing too much on the bad, and it can certainly steal from the parts of this earth and the parts of this existence that are like heaven. So, you know, where hell is complete torment with no relief, heaven being complete rest, complete salvation without pause. So, hope the video finds everyone well. I think this is a good subject to talk about, and it's certainly thoughts that I've pondered, and thoughts that I'll continue. I have no problem with continuing to ponder them, and we'll catch y'all later.